Hi, I'm Liz McDonald. I am a scientist. I work for NASA's Goddard Space Flight Center, and I study the northern lights, how they are born and evolve. A typical aurora is seen on winter nights far to the north and the south. It is mostly green, which is caused by particles from space that are raining down on the atmosphere. And they kind of plink down through the atmosphere and deposit some of their energy and light up the very upper levels of our atmosphere when they impact the gases that are up there, that are mostly oxygen. Um, and aurora is always changing. It's can sometimes be seen further away from the poles where more of us live. And when that happens, it's because the sun is really active. And the sun also goes through a whole cycle of being active, and it's getting really active last year and this year. And so more people are starting to notice the aurora and what it does. I work with a lot of really keen photographers, and they participate in my project called Aurorasaurus, where if they're out seeing the northern or southern lights, they can submit a report that they have seen it. And sometimes they see different colors and different shapes in the northern lights. And so they started telling us about this different kind of phenomena that happened, different kind of light that happened when the northern lights were being seen far to the north. And these were some folks who are mostly in Alberta, Canada. But they saw something straight overhead as well that was kind of moving like the northern lights and happening at the same time. And so they thought it was related. It looks like kind of a jet trail across the sky from east to west. And it's kind of gray to our eyes when we look up at it. But these people are such great photographers that when they looked at it with their cameras, they actually noticed that it was glowing in this unusual purple kind of mauve color, and also had a little bit of the typical aurora green, this like spiky kind of fence like structure sometimes along with it. There's this old animated movie called Over the Hedge. And in that movie, there's some kind of woodland creatures. And one day, a hedge pops up in their neighborhood and they don't know what to make of it. So they say, "What do we call it?" And one of the characters says, "Let's just call it Steve." And so this group of people started taking more and more photographs and sharing them with the scientists so that we could go look in the rest of our data and try and figure out what it was. And they called it Steve, and we called it Steve, and the name really just stuck. Yeah, so this first started happening. As I said, the sun has cycles, and the cycles are really quite long. They're like every 11 years. And so when we first started talking to people about Steve, it was actually way back in 2015 and 16 and 17. And that was kind of the end, toward the maximum, and then the decrease of the last solar cycle. And then it's gotten quiet, and Steve has been seen all over the world, but the sun hasn't been that active. And it comes along with Aurora, and it's typically kind of a small event. We don't exactly know. So every report about Steve helps us to understand the conditions that might be causing Steve better. And so now we are rising up. It looks like a wave, these cycles, and the sun is getting more active. And so, especially last year, more people started seeing Steve in a lot of places that it started to be talked about more, and of course shared on social media, and really got noticed again by a lot more people.